look what finally came in the mail. For those of you who don't know what this is, it is a 12-speed cassette, Shimano to be specific. It's a Shimano 105 12-speed road cassette. And the reason why I have this is because I got my brand new bike probably a few weeks ago, and believe it or not, still haven't used it at all because we're in like the dead of winter over here and it's absolutely freezing out and road conditions are horrible in the winter in New York. So the reason why I have this is it's the only way for me to mate it with my Wahoo setup back there. Now, this was a complete surprise to me, and I had no clue that I was going to have to do something like this until literally my bike came in. Otherwise, I probably could have been a little bit more proactive and had this here first. But this brings up a good topic of discussion, and that is there's gonna be a lot of things that you have no clue about when you first get into anything, especially like a brand new sport like triathlon. But it's surprising how many times or how often the reason why somebody won't start something or won't get into, say, a new hobby, get into a new business, get into really anything is fear that they don't know enough about the sport, which is kind of a funny fear. It's like you don't know enough, so you're not going to get started. But the only way to truly learn anything about what it is that you want to do is by doing it. But many people approach their desire to start a hobby, start an instrument, start a business from the perspective of, I need to know everything before I take that first step. And if there's one thing that I learned by taking part in this sport, it's that, like, no matter how much reading, no matter how much listening to podcasts or interviews or this, that, or the other thing, you're never going to know everything. And even if you think you get to the point where you know everything, these things that you might learn from other people may not completely apply to your situation or even your setup. So in this specific case, again, I would have, if I ever researched this in the past, like 12-speed cassettes, Shimano, like this, that, and the other thing, while I had this old girl back here, that knowledge would have been completely useless for the time being, and probably by the time I decided to buy the bike that I bought, I probably would have forgot most of that information anyway, and needed to re-up on whatever reading or learning that I would have had to do. And this kind of falls in line with something that Aman Ghazi, or at least I learned it from him, but I'm sure many people approach things like this, especially in the entrepreneurial space. It's the difference between the concept of just-in-time learning versus, extensive research beforehand. So instead of reading like 10 books on everything you can find about business, you start your business, and then as you approach or as you encounter different problems, that's when you start reading about that specific problem, so that you're learning the information that you need to apply just in time for you to use it, rather than having this massive repertoire of knowledge in your head that by the time you need to use it or encounter something related to that, you probably forget 99% or even 80% of that information anyway, and need to reread that information. So the idea there is that it's a waste of time to be over-researching and underdoing. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say in this video. Don't let your lack of knowledge stop you from really doing anything. Just as a key takeaway in this video, if you want to start triathlon, if you want to start running, if you want to start a hobby, a business, whatever, just start. And as you hit a roadblock, that's when you go into research mode, and that's when you learn enough to overcome that roadblock. And then, spoiler alert, you're gonna encounter another roadblock after that, and then you're gonna have to read up on that, learn, and tackle that problem, and over and over and over again. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to share in today's video, and I hope you liked it. See you in the next video.